You remember the Cobra Kai motto?
Yes. Strike hard, strike fast, no mercy.
Doesn't that kind of sound like the new Viper 908 dropped?
Oh yeah, it's all that roundhouse kick to the face, but they're doing it with unknowns with FTIR and ramen.
And then when you pair that with the smart spectral processing, it's kind of like sweeping the leg and reading the compound.
And it doesn't even need black geese or yelling at teenagers.
But don't mistake us, it's still kind of badass. It's like having Mr. Miyagi right in your corner.
Right, so check them out. Check out that new champ at 908devices.com and have no mercy for your mystery chemicals.
And you know what really stresses me out on hazmat calls?
The part that stands around saying, this smells like something?
Yeah, exactly, right? It's more about guessing than it is about tactics.
That's why Teledyne FLIR Defense builds detection tools that we can stop doing that. Real senses for real CBRNE threats.
Yeah, and they've been doing it for over 30 years. So they really do understand what first responders need to know to deal with what they're dealing with.
They're in hazmat, homeland security, public safety, the ugly scenes with clear answers.
Because the more you know, the smarter you'll operate.
So Teledyne FLIR Defense, any threat, anywhere, without the mysteries.
And we promised that we would look into a solution for the battery fires. And while many companies have put their products in front of us, there really only has been one noteworthy one because it's actually extinguishing lithium-ion battery fires. It works on multiple classes of fire, so it's not a one-trick pony. It's going to prevent the fire from spreading, which is actually something really kind of cool to watch, and the lithium-ion battery from reigniting.
Yeah, and before that guy with the keyboard warrior starts cap blocking, asking for proof, the links are in the show notes for UL Class A and B, as well as BSI for 10 categories, including the lithium-ion batteries.
We've put it through our own field tests, and I got to be honest with you, we were pretty impressed with the results. Now, we suggest that you do your own myth busting. It's available in a variety of integrations, so it can kind of seamlessly work into whatever operation you have. You can access more information by checking out Fire Suppression Solutions or clicking on the show notes below.
Yeah. So, anyway, look at this new show.
Yeah, I love the banners and the graphics. As somebody with major ADHD, I'm gonna have to like hide this while we're recording because I'm gonna be looking at the banners. Things change. I'm constantly This is not gonna work out well for me. I can promise you that.
It's incredible. Like we completely have redone the show, the way it looks, the way it runs, everything, pretty much.
Yeah, it's looking good. Anybody with any kind of feedback, let us know what you would like. If there's something that you would like to see, let us know what it is, because we're looking to make this as visually like, hey, I want to go not only listen to a show, but watch the show as possible. Even if it means that we have to like AI ourselves into some hot chicks.
You know what? Before we do that, I have to. We are running a competition, a sweepstakes, and Nick Peppard from Bar Harbor. He won the Obexian. Yeah, from Bar Harbor. He won the Obexian sweepstakes. He's getting a full kit sent to him.
I believe he's the first, right? This is the first of the drawings. Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are we talking about today?
Well, we are all right. So we have had a couple of incidents. Well, not a couple. Well, we've had a couple throughout the years, but there's one big incident that happened in New York and Warwick over the past week and a half. Actually, almost half a month ago now, and it has sparked again this resurgence of email questions. So we figured we would just kind of go through. We're not answering emails, but what we're doing is we're talking about the other energy storage systems that have failed over the past 5 years, what the fire departments have done about it, any kind of lessons that have been learned, how things have changed, things along those lines. So, you know, we teach a lot of theory in class. We have our own experiences with our own batteries that we teach, but it's one of the great things about this show is that we can take the experience of others and we can kind of transform that into a conversation, and that's what we want to do. And I don't know if anybody's going to, you know, learn anything incredibly new. There's nothing that's revolutionary here, but a lot of times when we look through information on prior events, there's more than just the straightforward, like, well, how did you put out the battery fire, right? There's reasons and thought processes behind it. Like, how did things get to be the way they are, and resolidifying stuff like that. So we are going to go ahead and jump into some of these energy storage systems. Happy New Year, by the way, everybody.
Thank you. That's great. Yeah. All right, let's get into the first one. This is going to be Surprise, Arizona. I think most people remember this one. This is April 19, 2019, which is quite a while ago now at this point. Just to recap it, there was smoke reported, right, from a building housing the ESS, and that event escalated hours later into a complete catastrophic failure and deflagration after a door was open. And we know how that works. If you have something that's very concentrated behind a door and you start venting it, the concentration changes and you get into that flammable range.
Yeah, and it definitely went boom. Technical write-ups describe this as a cascading thermal event with a flammable gas accumulation hazard, and that is what ended up creating the explosion risk during what would be the investigation phase, like that kind of initial entry into the actual building itself.
Now, it was discovered because there was reports of smoke. That triggered the response, and then the hazmat and first responders arrived, and they started securing the area, rightfully so.
All right, now the question everybody always wants to know is, how did the fire department stop this? And guess what? They didn't. They didn't really do anything to put it out because there wasn't really a fire involved when they got there. There was an extinguishing agent that was being used. It was a clean agent. It turns out this is not a great idea for energy storage systems, and that was the Novec. And that Novec actually may have helped create the situation in which the explosive gases were able to accumulate, and upon entry there was a deflagration or an explosion.
Right. So this is before a lot. This was the kind of the one that kind of started a lot of changes with the ESSs and how they all went. Started to do things. So there was ineffective. Again, not shooting at the fire department. It was ineffective against the thermal runaway, and this is it was more about the consumption and venting, not knockdown. Yeah.
This is the one that became the Never Again event. We really focus on, when we break this down and we listen to the guys that were there break it down, it really emphasizes the gas monitoring, the explosion potential, ventilation and entry control. We want to, and coordinating with literally the multiple people who have responsibility for the actual structure itself. And when, so many of these, again, let's not focus on, well, how did they put it out? Let's focus on what they did, what they saw, what they experienced, because I think that lends a lot more. The gas monitoring for this event is really kind of fascinating, and I highly recommend going back, listening to one of the other episodes where we break this one down, or if you ever get a chance to listen to one of these guys talk publicly, it's a good lessons learned.
So another one that we want to talk about is Moss Landing, which was from Monterey, California. Their electric company out there, PG&E. They called it the Elkhorn Megapack Fire. This is September 20th, 2022. Now, I've mentioned this to Mike before, is that I've had my hands on one of these megapacks, and these things are stunningly big. They're an entire like a trailer. It is huge. It's like it's like a locomotive of a train.
That blew me away. It is literally a energy storage system on wheels, right? Like a Connex box size stuffed with batteries.
Yeah, it's made to go to like the Super Bowl, and you pull it up and you just park it and you plug in the entire stadium into the thing. So it's enormous. So in this event, there was a single Tesla Megapack that experienced a thermal event and caught fire around 1:06 a.m. The root cause was significant water ingress, leading to electrical shorts and thermal runaways. Now, the rainwater intrusion went inside. So what happens is, like, on the top, you can imagine these batteries make a lot of heat. So there's a ton of ventilation on the roof and on the upper transom, I guess, areas. And that's, I guess, how the water got in at this point.
So like an external short type of
Yeah.
a situation. All right. So how did they discover this, right? The discovery was done through the remote PG&E Operations Center, and the fire was confirmed through closed circuit television. 911 was then notified. Now, I say this, we bring this up, right? Like, okay, who cares? But we talk about in classes the need to contact the battery monitoring systems that are in place to watch these things, because here's an entire group of people that are dedicated to seeing what is going on inside of this building. We don't want to go inside of the building, but we sure as hell kind of want to understand what's going on. So, the importance on this one, for me, the takeaway is there are people out there who can give you information on what's going on inside of these things without having to make entry and go in and put yourselves in danger. The process was a little bit flawed, and that's okay. There was a couple of, conflicting information that led to the fire department being a little bit delayed because you got your monitors for the battery monitoring system, you got human intervention, and it kind of took a little while.
Now let's get into where the fire departments, what they did at this one. So the official report stated that the fire consumed itself. That's in quotes, right? So about 6 hours of flaming combustions plus about 12 hours of visible smoke and off-gassing. So the responders followed the pre-plan and the Tesla ERG, which I wholeheartedly agree with. Like, play by the book,
Yeah, it made the manufacturers may not be correct, right? Because they've even said, like, we're not firefighters. Like, you guys figure this out. That has been told to the community before, but it's a really good starting point, right? Like, at least if something goes wrong, you could be like, we were following the directions that we were told to.
Right. And so they let the megapack burn out while monitoring at a safe distance and protecting the adjacent, the exposures and stuff like that. And the unified command issued road closures and shelter in places because of the fog, the plume, the smoke, and that kind of jazz.
So what ended up kind of correcting the situation? Well, like so many of the other ones, time. The megapack was removed. That was the problem. There was minimal damage to surrounding areas. They, went through, they troubleshooted stuff, and that was really it.
Let's tell you about today's episode is being brought to you by Rigaku Analytical Devices, who have the folks that have been perfecting the 1064 nanometer Raman longer than most of you have been doing hazmat.
They just launched their 4th generation handheld analyzer, the Icon X, built specifically for real world stuff and hazmat teams dealing with the everyday. We're talking dirty powders, mixed materials, dyes, colors, all the things that generally throw your instrument into a temper tantrum.
Right. The 1064 nanometer laser means reduced fluorescence, so you get fast, reliable chemicals, IDs, in under a minute instead of staring at a blank screen wondering what went wrong.
And this isn't a new platform. This is a new platform, right? This isn't just an upgrade. It's a whole new toolbox. It supports new accessories, including standoff analysis, and you can get the answers even when you're not close to the scene.
So if you want an analyzer that has been evolving right alongside the hazmat world, check out Rigaku's new Raman at rigakuanalytical.com. And take a look around. How many lithium-ion devices do you got around you right now?
In the office, I've got about 7.
See, batteries are everywhere, and every department in the nation is starting to deal with these things on a regular basis.
So we are excited to tell you about a product that is proven to limit and control the battery fire propagation. It's from a brand called DeGeo, and they are chock full of hazmat experts who know that there's a better way for us, the first responder, to handle, store, and ship these at-risk lithium batteries.
Right, this product will solve your lithium-ion batteries. It's lightweight, it works across all battery types, and we can tell you it lives up to the hype because we've tested it firsthand.
It's called Obexian FR, and it's part of a 2-part system with a scientifically designed granular along with a UN-certified paler drum. More importantly, Obexian FR is proven to reduce the toxic IDLH gases that are emitted when these batteries kick off. So honestly, it's going to be there to keep your team safe.
All right, so learn more. Go to the hazmatguys.dgeo.com. That's the hazmatguys.dgeo.com. So the next one the proud boy of why we're talking is Warwick,
Yeah.
New York.
Which is crazy because there's actually 2 dates associated with this. So this one location has had 2 incidences over the past 2 years.
Right. June 26, 2023 and December 19, 2025, which is kind of bringing us why we're here. So let's just talk about the June 26, 2023 one, which is on a school district property. Now, what happened was the public reported that there was 2 commercial units igniting and burning, producing heavy smoke, and it smelled like burning plastics, and that prompted some evacuations.
Yep. Fire alarms were reported to be heard. Emergency responses followed. The fire department did the fire department thing. And for there, obviously, we're in a school area. They evacuated the nearby school district facilities. There was no report of any kind of injuries.
The local news and reporting indicated that there was an early suspicion that water intrusion and ingress may have contributed again, but this is still under investigation right now.
So what are we looking at for the fire department's reactions? Well, the fire was reported at around 10:15 p.m., which is nice. Nobody was in school, right? They didn't actually have to evacuate the school itself. Triggered a multi-agency response. We're looking at reports of about 24-hour time frame for the burning and cool down period. So what is the takeaway for that, right? 24 hours. If you're sitting and you're trying to plan what's going to happen, if you respond to one of these, we need to be thinking long term. We're going to be there long term, which changes how our incident command system gets structured. It changes the logistics, right? It adds a whole new layer of complexity to the operation when we know right off the bat we're going to be here for quite some time. After the active flame ended, the crews monitored for an extended period of time the atmosphere while the system cooled down. They made sure that there was no reignition issues, and again, most important for them, they were more concerned about the off-gassing. That's what the fire department is really there for, was off-gas monitoring, as well as making sure there was no extensions.
Now, the village updated this. It emphasizes like the investigation and references from the earlier corrective actions, such as replacing the units, testing and updated plans, and retraining. The other one, and I say this as a pun, but the smoke hasn't cleared on it. That's why we really don't have very much information on it.
All right, let's jump to California, which has definitely seen its fair share of battery fires. Otay Mesa in San Diego, California, which happened, I believe, around May of 2024. So this was, at this point, almost 2 years ago. The fire broke out on May 15th with periodic flare-ups until May 25th. Now, this one is really interesting because there's not a lot of them where we turn around and we hear about reignition throughout a long period of time. So far, everything that we've seen has been a burn, and then that unit just kind of, it fades itself off. Here, we have a situation in which we're constantly going back. So as a fire department trying to, pre-plan for something like this, we have possibilities of kind of going there and back with still no true understanding as the root cause of what is happening.
Yeah, the public EPA report doesn't give the exact first detection method, but it does confirm, thankfully, that there was many different agencies involved, that's good. That moves the ball.
It does move the ball, right? Like so from a lessons learned point of view, let's get everybody on scene as quickly as possible. And I think that's one of the major, the fire department's goals in something like this is changes from being, action orientated, because that's what we're so used to, right? Like we arrive on scene and we do something, and now we're seeing situations in which over and over again the fire department is not performing the typical firefighting actions, but they're quarterbacking the entire operation as far as calling people in, making sure things are logistically moving. And this is no different because the public records, they show that the fire department had a very hard time extinguishing this. They were trying to stabilize. The post-incident records mainly focus on the cleanup, but from a fire department point of view, it must be extraordinarily frustrating to attempt to put out these fires. They're reflaring up for up to a week, 2 weeks afterwards. So it's one of those things that as we start to get more and more of these in our areas, it's less about the actions of an individual firefighter as much as what is the department as a whole going to react.
Yeah, I would agree. This one reads more like a, control it, prevent the spreading, manage the reignition risks, right? And then you have the regulated cleanup, because these things, these are much bigger, and they're probably going to take like EPA level stuff to come in there. So their requirements are like environmental monitoring during the battery handling, the removal, the packaging, the disposal of those impacted packs, and progress reports, right? These things are going to go on for a long time.